Hey everybody, Darren Cross here. Welcome to Business 400, Driving Business Opportunities. This is the template or the better writing video that I talked about in my introductory video. And the purpose of this is to actually help you figure out, number one, how to work with the templates that I'm going to give you for each of the assignments, but also how to basically write better. Okay, so as I indicated, what I'm going to do is provide you a template that looks like this with each assignment. Okay. And the idea here is that you use, oh, I see some things that I can actually change here. I need to kind of gray this out here, but you want to use this template so that you can stay on track with what we're after. Okay. So you're going to have one of these for most of the written assignments that you're going to do. Not all, because they don't all require it, but you're going to have it for most. Okay. So what you're going to do with these is if you see something red, what I'm saying is replace this. Keep, it's going to kind of melt in with what you're saying. So 1.2 blog. So the whatever your product is called from, Amazon. Put your name, your date. And here's the thing. You're going to have a title page. Don't mess with this. Don't put logos on it. Don't do anything. This is APA. This is exactly how it should look. So don't mess with this. Don't add extra spaces. Don't change if it's not red, don't change it. Okay. Now there's going to be a little bit, I'm going to change that rule here in a little bit. So when we're talking about APA, what's going to happen is when you have a title page of your, of the title that's actually on your title page, that's going to be the title that's running throughout. We don't need running heads, so we're not going to do that. You don't have to worry about running heads. And again, I want you to use my template and not the template that you have, that any other template that's been provided. This is going to just keep you on track with everything. And this is how all of your written assignments are going to look. Okay. So what I want you to do, keep this heading here, replace this part. See how this says profitability? Don't change it. Don't, uh, you know, indent it or anything. Don't add extra spaces. Don't do any of that stuff. Okay. Just keep it exactly where it is because this is properly formatted according to APA, right? So you have different levels, right? You'll have like a level 0 heading, or I think this is the main level, maybe a level 1, and then it goes through different levels, and you'll see that in the guidelines. But that's what we're going to do here. Keep the headings exactly how they are, and then you're going to address it, right? So then when you go into the assignment, what you're going to see is that I tell you what you're after, and this is grayed out. So I'm going to go ahead and do this now since I didn't get back to doing that. It's great. It's basically grayed out because the idea is I want you to understand that this is not going to, you don't want to have any of my instructions in here. Okay. I want you to only replace this with your stuff. So I don't want you to say, describe your company's value proposition and put the value proposition here. I want you to use this as a guide, but then take it out and put your stuff in. Okay. I don't want to see any of my words in your paper. Okay. But you'll see that what I'm doing is I'm telling you what to do here, right? So this says this is the introductory section of your paper. The point of this section is to set up the rest of your paper. For this assignment, you'll start with a paragraph, which I want to let you all know a paragraph is 3 to 5 sentences. You should not have something that's less than 3 sentences, and you really, there's a little bit of leeway. You can go above 5, but if you're in 6, 7, 8 sentences in a row without starting a new paragraph, it starts to detract from your writing. Okay. So group all of your stuff in groups of 3 to 5 sentences. And then you really need to think, do I really need to start a new paragraph? Because if so, you're probably getting off in the weeds, right? So here, 3 to 5 sentences that describes your company, the products, services they provide, and the audience and market to whom they provide these products or services. Now, as you are doing these assignments, here's what I want you to do. I want you to stay focused on only what we are after. You don't need any flowery language like Amazon is one of the best companies in the world. Where in here does it say to describe how good Amazon is? We're not after that. You want to describe your company. So you want to just say Amazon is a company that provides, it's a telco company. I know Amazon's not a telco company, but Amazon is an e-commerce company that provides multiple products and services to a wide audience. Okay, so you want to just stay super focused on what we're after, right? And then I tell you here, then you'll describe your value proposition, and what you'll see is that a lot of times, see, I'm referring you here to like the announcements, right? So this is saying, hey, there's some more information somewhere. Doing the same thing here. There's some more information. And when you get done with a section, you'll actually just have only your words in here, okay? And you'll do that for each assignment going through. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Sometimes I give you guidance where I'll say, hey, interpret in one paragraph. I really mean that. 3 to 5 sentences, okay? I don't want you to get off in the weeds, because most of the time when you actually are when you start to put more stuff in here, it makes it worse. Now, I just saw that I had a mistake there. Here's the thing to understand. What you're going to have with APA is you're going to have, this title page, no logos, no fancy stuff. You don't need anything crazy. You're going to have titles and headings, right? You're going to have different level of headings. And then you're going to have paragraphs within the headings, and every paragraph is indented. Every paragraph is indented. Okay? Every paragraph is indented. Now, I told you to make sure that you don't put any extra spaces, right? So everything is double spaced throughout. What I've noticed is that sometimes people are like, I don't like the fact that this is double spaced. I just want it to be like 2.5 times space. It needs to be a little bit more. No, the amount of space between here and here is the same between here and here and here and here. Okay, so don't go through and do all of this stuff. You don't need to change any formatting on this. Just use the spacing as it is. Okay. Now, there's something called an orphaned heading. I want you to be aware of that. And what that is when you get to the end of the page and you have a heading here, because you are trying to keep it double spaced, you want to have the same amount of space between here and here and here and here. But the problem is there's not enough space for there to be anything on this page. So it automatically will kick your material to the next page. This is called an orphan heading. This does not have, it's not representing anything, right? So it needs to be with the thing that it's describing. So you can push extra space just to get to the next page for that, and then make sure that you actually have double space after that, right? So don't leave a heading here that doesn't describe anything. Okay, so you want to go through, address what I'm saying. If there's something, a link in the paper, go through and look at that. This is the APA guidelines. It helps you figure out stuff, how to actually format things properly. And pay attention to everything that I'm saying here. Okay. Now, I think I still had some comments that I wanted to make here, but by the time you get this will actually be finished up. Now, here's the other thing to note. You want to stay focused on what I'm talking about. Don't make any assumptions. Don't get off in the woods. You don't want to describe things that you're not being asked to describe. You just want to talk about what we're talking about in the paper, but you also want to use economy of expression, right? So you want to use fewer words to say things if you can. You don't want to say the company failed to succeed. Failing is not succeeding, so you could say the company failed, right? You want to don't use words that you don't need. For instance, definitely is a word that you probably don't need. A lot of times people say definitely just as to try to make a point, but the only time you really need to say definitely is when you're trying to make the point that the information that you're providing is definite, and most of the time it isn't. So you want to, not use words like very or definite, or you don't want to use descriptors or editorial like, questions of magnitude. Like this is Amazon is a humongous company. If you're making an academic paper, what you're saying is what you're inviting is someone to say, okay, um, what is humongous? When does humongous start? How do I know that it's humongous versus just big? And does it even matter? So you really have to think about that, right? Another thing to think about is when you are putting forth something that you want to accept as fact. So I talked about this in the introductory video. If you're saying something like, this is something that I get a lot, or that I've gotten a lot, people will say, you know, the company should pay attention to this because it'll make their employees happy, and happy employees are more productive. Well, that's a an opinion that you have, but it may not necessarily hold true. So who said that? Who said that happy employees are more productive? That's not necessarily true. There's actually research to suggest that their happiness doesn't really play on their productivity. It might, I mean, there's a lot of grumpy people who do great work, but it might play on, their intent to leave or something like that. But the thing is, if you're putting forth something that you want to be accepted as a fact, you have to cite it. Okay. And what happens with citations is you want to have a citation, an in-text citation here, and you want to have a reference at the end that actually refers to it. Okay, so when you get done, you're going to keep this. APA is references, not works cited, and you're not going to change this. You're not going to put this on the same page. A reference has its own page, just like the title page is its own page. You want to keep this format. So each time you have an in-text citation, you're going to have a reference to match it. What you're really saying is, hey, look below, and this tells you where I got this information, so that anybody who's trying to verify something they can do that. Now, there's basically two ways to do this, right? You can say, let's see. So I don't really have any statements of fact in here, but let's go to a blank here. We'll just go here and start typing. So let's say that you wanted to say that the sky is blue, right? So you could say, but someone said that the sky is blue. So let's say I said it. So you could say the sky is blue. And of course, you want to paraphrase. So these aren't my exact words. You could just say that the sky is blue. So maybe Cross said, the sky has a blue tint. You could say, oh, you're saying the sky is blue. Cross said that the sky is blue. So we would do this. And this is a sentence, and the parentheses is included in the sentence, and the period is after. So what you're saying is the sky is blue, and Cross said this in 2023. A lot of times what I've seen, only at SNU, but it's enough to make me think that somewhere, somebody along the line gave you guys incorrect information. Somewhere I see this. This is not correct. Okay? The period goes after the parentheses. Okay? Cross said that so it's like the sky is blue, according to Cross in 2023. Now, the other thing that you could say is Cross, and then you want to say when Cross said it, indicated or said or whatever. Let's just say said, it's easier. Said, and it's always past tense, right? Said that the sky is blue. These are two ways to cite. Now, there's another thing to actually pay attention to, and that is thinking about what you're actually citing. A lot of times people are bringing information into their paper, but they're citing the wrong thing, right? So you are doing a project, and you might be doing a project on Amazon, and you'll say something like, Amazon, this project will increase Amazon's profitability in the year 2024. And then you cite somebody because they were talking about profit. What you're saying, whenever you cite something, you want to use this phrase in your head to make sure that you're citing properly. You're saying that Cross said this thing. Cross said the sky is blue. Cross said the sky is blue, right? Cross didn't say anything about your project. How could Cross say something about, how could someone in the past say something about your project which hasn't even happened yet? Or, you know, you might say, this project is in line with the mission of uh, Apple. And then you quote Apple's, or you cite Apple's website. Apple's website doesn't talk about your project. So keep in mind, when you cite something, you're saying this person or this source says something, says this in some way or another. And no one is saying anything about your project. Now you can actually cite people if you're saying, this project falls in line with the mission stated by Apple. That's when you would do this. The mission stated by Apple in 2023, right? So you're making that clarity. It's like saying, oh, they're talking about the mission. So you just got to be careful about that, okay? So really, that's really it. If you follow the template and you use economy of expression, you don't mess with the format at all. Don't try to make it pretty. Don't try to change the font. Don't try to make anything bigger. This is all the same size. It's all Times New Roman 12-point font. Other than this is all double spaced throughout. It has headings. Don't try to put extra headings. Don't underline anything. Just use the headings that we have here. Use the formatting that I'm going to have. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. When you turn in your assignments, if it is not using this template, I'm going to assign a temporary 0 and send it right back to you so that you can use this template. I want to let you know that now so that you're not frustrated when you see it and you're saying, I did include the information. I don't want just the information. I want you to use this template. And the reason why is because it's going to keep you on focus and it's going to help me to understand what material you're trying to say because it's going to be represented by the titles. Okay, so you're going to actually download this template every time. You're going to take my stuff out, put your stuff in, and keep the same format. Okay, so you're going to replace the red stuff with your words, and then you're going to use this grayed out stuff as information that helps you. So you might want to print this out and then get rid of this stuff, and you want to change it to black, by the way. Change it. You want the whole document to be black, and then send it to me. So you might want to print this out and use it as a guideline while you actually, after you've downloaded it. Then, it'll be saved as the template. You could just save it as your assignment. Okay. So how do you actually change everything to black? If you're on this document, you could just go Control A, which selects everything. And then you can go here and say, I want everything to be in black. And then everything's in black. You want to do that after the assignment, all right? So you'll have one of these for each assignment, but the thing is, what I want you to understand is you also have that assignment video, so I want you to watch that assignment video because it will actually tell you exactly what we're looking for in each of the assignments, okay? So good luck, everybody, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. Good luck.